This video was brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. Get top quality razors delivered to your door starting at just $1 a month. Link below in the description. Skip it up and that up. Well, I have great news for you. My Audio Technica mic just died. It's making a horrible buzzing noise. It has amazing sound quality, and I'm very unhappy. I got like 4 months out of that damn mic, or maybe 6, and it's already crapped the bed. It was an amazing mic. It was USB, and it sounded very professional. And now I don't have it anymore. So I'm going to sound okay. I'm using a Samsung Meteor mic. It's still a really good mic, especially for the price. But if I sound different, that's why. And I'm holding back my rage right now because I'm pretty pissed off that this happened. But anyway, moving on from that, this is a pretty interesting topic. I saw a Boogie2988's video talking about the whole thing that's going on. I did a parody video with Sexy Coco talking about Assassin's Creed 4 and how it's going to have the same resolution on the PS4 and Xbox One because Ubisoft kind of came out and said something, oh, we don't want the parody in between them because then it starts flame wars. I'm indirectly quoting here. And then I heard other things like, it's because the CPU of the PS4 is more anemic than the Xbox One CPU, or it's just the processors of both consoles in general that are holding back the resolution, and that's why the game can't be 1080p. Which, whatever the case may be, so many people have covered that. I even made the Sexy Coco video talking about it. Whatever. Blah, 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 blah. Moving on from that. But the thing I always see in the comment section, and which cracks me up, and I've never directly addressed it, is people who always say, look, I don't care about resolution. What about back in the day when games, were pixels and sprites, and did we care about resolution then? We didn't. We just had fun and played games. You're so wrong that it hurts, you dumbasses. No, we didn't. We were raised to be graphics whores. We were from day one. And people who defended saying, oh, back then the games, they were so basic. Back then they weren't basic. They were advanced. And we ate up the new graphics and we ate up the new hardware. And we were all about which system was better, whether it was Sega Genesis or Super Nintendo. And that's because the corporations raised us to be that way. And it's also partially because it's how we are as human beings. We want prettier visuals. We're visual creatures. But you want proof? Here's a couple commercials for you. Take a look.
Genesis does
16-bit arcade graphics.
You can't do this on Nintendo. Genesis does
16-bit sports action.
You can't do this on Nintendo. Genesis
Does.
Genesis
Does.
Genesis
Does.
Genesis
Does.
Genesis does.
Get Joe Montana free, Pat Riley free, Buster Douglas free, Super Monaco GP free, or Columns free.
Genesis does.
What Nintendo?
Charged games like China Warrior. Compare it to Nintendo's Kung Fu. Can you spot the difference? TurboGrafx 16 has 16-bit graphics that make characters up to 32 times bigger and almost 10 times as many colors. Turbo Action, Turbo Sound, TurboGrafx 16, the higher energy video game system. TurboGrafx 16 video game system is available at these stores.
You are witnessing a new technology. The first and only game powered by the Super FX microchip.
Danger, 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 danger.
Why go to the next level when you can go light years beyond? You are Foxy Cloud in Star Fox, only for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System.
Do you see what I'm goddamn saying? Do you understand now? We've always been graphics whores. It's always been about the graphics. People have always compared the competing systems. This isn't a new thing. I'm so tired of hearing in the comments section, what about back in the day when games were simpler and no one cared about graphics? No, they did. Yes, the older systems are simplistic and dated compared to modern day hardware, whether it be the 8th gen consoles or PC, but it's always been about graphics. And at the time when these systems like the TurboGrafx 16, the Super Nintendo, the Genesis, so on and so forth were released, they were cutting edge and people wanted to compare what their capabilities were. This whole comparing graphics and hardware is not a new thing. Please stop saying that in the comments section. It's so untrue and so annoying. Now, the other valid question you may be asking, and this one doesn't annoy me, and I've seen it in the comment section. Well, Rich, why is 1080p such a big thing? Why does it matter if a game is 900p or 1080p? Here's why it's such a big deal this generation, and why it gets so many clicks when you go to websites when games aren't 1080p, and why GameSpot and IGN and YouTubers and someone including myself don't stop talking about it. Here's the real reason why, and why the consumers are interested and gamers are interested. If you think about it, they were talking about 1080p, 720p, HD back when the PS3 and Xbox 360 were revealed. This is 1080p has been a thing for a very long time. Hell, before the Xbox 360 and PS3 were released, HD TVs were coming out. And in theory, the PS3 and Xbox 360, granted they were, indie games and sports games and fighting games, could render games in 720p or 1080p. And the first party games from Sony like Killzone and other games were 720p. So HD resolutions have been around for over a decade, or at least with the consoles, we've been in an HD era since starting in 2005 when the Xbox 360 was released. So people were thinking with the Xbox One and PS4 that 1080p wouldn't even be a thing. Every game would be 1080p without hesitation. Maybe 30 frames per second, but 1080p wouldn't even be a challenge. Every game, without a shadow of a doubt, would be 1080p because the 7th gen consoles, in very rare occasions, could also reach 1080p. So of course the next gen, 1080p wouldn't even be a thing. Well, it is a thing, and not all games, especially on the Xbox One, are reaching 1080p, and that's why people are almost like obsessively concerned about it. It's like, damn, I just spent $400 on this console, and it's still giving me resolutions almost that I was getting with my 8 and 9-year-old 7th gen consoles. It's kind of weird and kind of disturbing. That's why when people talk about resolution on gaming news websites, they get a ton of clicks. That's why YouTubers talk about it. That's why, because it's a big issue, because people expected more. Even people who weren't tech savvy expected more from the now current gen consoles. And that's why it's such a thing. And it's always been a thing. Graphics have always been a thing since back in the 80s and 90s. It hasn't just started now. Everyone could stop. Back in the day, we didn't play games for pixels. We played games for fun. Yeah, of course, fun is first and foremost. Like I know I've used this line in a billion other videos. I have more fun with some Sega Genesis games than I do with current gen games. But look, we all like eye candy. We all want the best eye candy. And yes, games need to be fun, but we also like it when the games are pretty. We all do. It's human nature. Get over it. All right, folks, this is Rich of Review Tech USA. Make sure to rate, comment, favorite, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for supporting my channel. Have a good one.